I've been sponsoring legislation for 5 years now. We've never come this far in terms of the amount of support. We have nearly half the House as co-sponsors of my bill. My bill is very simple. It says when you're driving, you can't text and you can't talk on a handheld cell phone. You just have to use a headset, speakerphone, Bluetooth, something like that. I know every single one of you at home have had an experience when you're driving along, you see someone swerving around or driving, in a way that clearly shows they're not focused on the road, and you kind of pull up next to them and you realize they were texting or they were talking on a handheld cell phone. I'm sure, Kevin, you've seen it. I've been the victim of an accident where I've been hit from behind by someone who admitted to be talking on her handheld cell phone. We know that in some cases when you're texting, you're driving as recklessly as when you're drunk. And we don't stand for that. We have laws against drunk driving. We should have laws against this type of distracted driving. And I've been amazed. We started this effort 5 years ago. We have more support in the legislature than ever before. But I've heard from thousands of people all across Pennsylvania, including my friend J.C. Good from Lancaster. J.C. graduated from Muhlenberg College, was driving home from Muhlenberg with her family the day of her graduation. Her car was struck by a motorist who had to swerve because a trucker was texting. The driver was texting, the trucker had to swerve to get around him, and slammed into the Goods car, killed everyone in her family except for JC, and JC was left in a coma for some time and is still rehabilitating herself. She is an incredibly brave woman. She came here to the Capitol to stand with me to talk about this issue. So this is not just a public policy issue anymore. This is a matter of public safety, and it's personal. There are personal stories every day in Pennsylvania, and we got to get this bill passed. It's common sense, and it should be done, and it should be done soon.
Well, let's stop again and show everyone a clip of Representative Shapiro speaking on the House floor about this legislation.
We are trying to stop accidents from occurring. We are trying to stop accidents from occurring, not merely trying to be punitive after the fact. The public is on our side on this measure. Two polls that recently came out, the Quinnipiac poll, which showed that 85% of citizens in this Commonwealth favor a handheld cell phone ban, and 89% favor a ban on text messaging. And we've all heard the tragic stories of people losing their lives as a result of driver inattention from using a handheld cell phone. From J.C. Good, the courageous young woman from Lancaster, who on the day of her graduation from Muhlenberg College was driving home with her family and was struck head-on by a truck that had to swerve to miss a motorist who was texting while driving. That truck slammed into J.C. Good's car. It killed her family. It left J.C. Good in a coma for 2 months. She is still undergoing rehabilitation. There are accidents all across this Commonwealth as a result of this dangerous distraction. Now, we can't regulate all distractions. We cannot regulate all distractions. But this is one where we have the technology available to us today at virtually no cost to the consumer to be able to make a real difference and save lives in Pennsylvania.
Again, Representative Shapiro speaking on the House floor a few months ago about this bill. It seems to be gaining a lot of support from Pennsylvanians.
Yeah, I mean, there have been poll after poll showing that upwards of 91% of Pennsylvanians want to see this legislation passed. Too often times the legislature is behind the public. This is another example of where the legislature needs to get up to speed. We got to pass this bill. The people of Pennsylvania want to see it happen. They understand the safety risk that it is. It's time for my colleagues and I to come together and get this done.